Hello, and welcome to another Dokkan battle video. So basically in this video, I just wanted to talk about the new bond parent and child category led by of course, the new LR, Vegeta and Trunks, and really just talk about who I think is going to be really good on this team, and basically the impact that I think this team is going to have, like in the game overall, because I think this category is unironically one of the best categories in the entire game. There is just so many units on this category, ranging from sands to earthlings to hybrid sands, just pretty much anything that you can possibly think of, that like anyone who has had a child or is a parent, or like in general, or just is a straight up child, is on this category. And I feel like this means a lot for the game going forward, because of course, if we scroll down over here, we have this guy, the Dragon Ball Superhero Gohan, on this category, meaning that whenever we do finally get the rest of the Dragon Ball Superhero content, then pretty much all the Gohans from the movie are going to be on this category. Sadly, I don't think any of them are going to be on the 200% lead, but at the very least, they're going to be on the full 170% leader skill for this team. And I think that's going to be more than good enough, considering how good the roster for this team is. Now, looking at this category just by itself, it's rather good. Like, I don't see literally anything wrong with this category. I don't think there's any single omission or character that I think should be on the category that isn't. I think like this category is probably one of the best built that we've gotten in a very long time. And for instance, you have a lot of characters that really needed just more teams in general. Stuff like Krillin's, Pan's, Majin Vegeta having better teams. And one of the main things that I think is really important for this specific category team is that it 200% leader skill with a Battle of Fate. So using the Dokkan info site, we can very quickly look at the roster of characters who are going to be actually getting the 200% lead, and it is quite good. You might think, oh, this is kind of a short list, but like if you really think about it, there's a lot of characters here who have not had a 200% lead before that are now finally getting one, such as LR Kaioken Goku, LR Namek Goku, and LR Super Saiyan 4 Vegeta, who some of you may be thinking, oh, well, isn't he on Majin Vegeta's 200% lead? And while that's true, this is finally a team where you can actually run LR Super Saiyan 4 Vegeta with another Super Saiyan 4 who's going to give him those really crazy links like Sand Roar. Like this link alone is one of the best links for this guy, and the fact that he could not previously activate it on a 200% lead was criminal. And now that we have this new category, which he can very easily get all his best links active with either the LR Super Saiyan 4s or LR Super Saiyan 4 Goku, I feel like this Super Saiyan 4 Vegeta is going to be a lot better than most people kind of give him credit for. Because I've seen many people think that this guy is kind of just like lacking in terms of his performance in relation to Goku, but he could have the potential on this team to just be outright better than Goku stat wise. I don't know if he's going to be better in terms of links, because LR Super Saiyan 4 Goku does link better with the LR Super Saiyan 4s that transform into Gogeta, but I still think this guy has a very special place on this team, considering he is a Vegeta unit, so he's going to share one or two more links with the actual LR Vegeta and Trunks. For instance, actually no, these guys don't have Sand Pride. Well, that's incorrect. Anyway, either way, I still feel like Super Saiyan 4 Vegeta is going to be rather good on this team. Now, for these two units right here that have not had a 200% lead before, them now getting it is going to be so good for them, because these guys, well, some people may be hating on my boy Namek Goku here. I feel like he can still be useful in some content, especially on this 200% lead. I feel like once he just gets a better like partner, hopefully, like if this guy were to EZA and become maybe like a support unit that also will link well with Namek Goku, then I feel like that's just going to revitalize him. I don't know if it's going to bring him back closer to the top, but it is going to at least make him more available to use in stuff like the red zone. So, but in terms of like Kaioken Goku, even without a 200% leader skill right now, this guy's shooting out like 15 million attack stats if you link him up with one of his best linking partners in the physical version Z Goku, who is on this category. He's not on the 200% lead, but he is just on the full 170% lead, and I still feel like this guy is a very good unit still. He has the support, he has the defense on both of his super attacks, he has good links. I feel like he's still definitely an option that you can use on this team. One thing that I think is going to be really impactful though for this team is just units to build around this unit, because this unit is clearly something that you want to prioritize, and making sure that this unit has both the bond of parent and child unit on their team, as well as maybe a couple actual future Saga characters so that they can actually get their active skill a little easier, will be pretty nice. For instance, I think one unit in particular, these guys, would be their premier linking partner, because these guys share, I believe, 5 out of 7 links. We can easily check that real quick using the Dokkan info link tool. I like using this whenever there's a character that just comes out and I really want to try to learn or figure out what I want to build in terms of linking partners. So if you look at this, we should see that like the most 5 common links, and you had a bunch of pretty decent units. Some of them are kind of outdated, like the Brolys and Majin Vegeta and Transforming Trunks, who I think could EZA next year at the latest. And so if you look at it, this unit is insane. They activate the bond of parent and child passive from the LR, and like since this unit is a perfect slot 1 unit, that allows this guy to just sit in slot 2, get all of their attack and defense post super attack, and just absolutely shred literally any event you could possibly think of. I think that the rotation of these 2 units can literally beat any content in the game, and this might even be a contender for the #1 rotation just in general. I think the only rotation in the game that even will compete with like the equal defense and offense that this rotation is going to provide is another rotation that is available on the 200% lead, being LR Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta and LR Super Saiyan 4 Goku. I feel like if you have a team where you have these 2 on one rotation and these guys on the other rotation, you will literally steamroll any event in the game with probably very little difficulty. I don't see you having too much problems with anything, maybe except for the AoE phase and Red Zone Broly, but then you gotta think about it. Who's on the 170% lead? Because it's just every Goku, Vegeta, Hercule, Krillin, any person who's ever had a kid plus their kid. So that means if we go down a little bit, we should see this guy, who is, as we all know, a literal god in both of the red zone and any event where you're fighting a pure Saiyan. So I feel like you can just slap this guy on any team that you're fighting Broly on, especially this one, since he's actually going to work really well with his rainbow orb changing and links, that it's not going to be even like that big of a deal. Plus, we also have the LR gods from the 7th year anniversary who link really well with him, so you could even run those 2 as a rotation. Sure, neither of them are going to get the 200% buff because neither of them are on Battle of Fate because they're movie characters, but I still feel like a rotation of these 2 on this team will work like perfectly fine, especially in Broly in the red zone, because what is he going to do to that rotation if you have these guys just kind of vibing, allowing this unit to stack up while this unit just tanks everything in slot 1, and then you have the actual leader also not taking any damage next to this guy, who again, all 3 of those units are tech, so they'll have type advantage in the last phase, where you will pretty much just flat out obliterate Broly into nothingness. And then you might be thinking that, hey, well, you have all these units. There's so many different options on this team. Who do you think won't be actually that impactful on this team? And that comes to one unit that I feel like was done criminally and just in general this year, which is none other than this guy right here, Int Majin Vegeta. Now, I cannot say that this unit is bad because that's just not true, whatsoever. But the one thing that I feel like holds this unit back is the fact that he is an over on a flash unit on a team that is mainly prepared for battle. So with that being the way that it is, and then him needing 6 key orbs to get his full damage reduction, I just feel like this guy, while good, and he'll have his full passive thanks to this being a Trunks unit. I just don't think that he is going to fit very well into this team and might just end up slowing down the overall team's performance. I still think he could be a solid like 6th option on the team, but I just feel like there's a lot of other characters who could mesh a little bit better with the team overall. For instance, we do have a couple other characters that I wanted to talk about, being the 3-year LRs, LR Tech Gogeta, and is he on this? Okay, he's on their other leader skill, so let me just pull that up real quick for the Future Saga. In Future Saga, we have this guy. So I wanted to talk about these specific units because I feel like these guys have pretty much the best chance of being very solid 5th or 6th options whenever you're running through any event. Mainly, these 3 are only here because I feel like their heal and ability to just kind of bring you back from a very bad situation. Even I feel like this guy with his active still can do that. I feel like these guys just have the ability to make things a lot easier after the heal. Post or pre-heal, they can be a little bad because they just don't have nearly as much defense as you would like them to have. But after they all transform, I feel like all 3 of these guys can be very, very useful in their own individual ways, especially when going against fights that they have type advantage against. Like for this guy against Omega, this guy against Bojack, and this one against Broly. I feel like even though they do take quite a bit of damage, like even Rainbowed, that they can still be very, very good. Now, this unit in particular, Super Saiyan Gohan Future, his EZA is incredibly underrated, mainly because people have a problem with the fact that he needs a Future Saga Trunks. However, it only just has to include Trunks, meaning that the main unit that we're talking about here, this new LR, will activate Future Gohan's additional passive, making this guy a literal god on this specific team. While he doesn't get the 200%, which is pretty sad, he is not going to take literally any damage, especially if he gets the super attack first. This unit is going to be insane on this team specifically. I just feel like having him as just another option that you can throw on the team and him be perfectly fine no matter where you are. Even I think against the AoE phase against Red Zone Broly, I don't think this guy's going to be taking literally any damage whatsoever. And I feel like that is something that is very important to think about when building out a team with this category. And finally, I believe there is one more unit that I'd like to speak about. It could be very good on this team. Where are they? Where are they? Ah, yes. These guys. These 2. Alright, cool. So, these are a couple other units that I'm sure is no surprise to anybody that they are good. These guys are insanely powerful, despite them not really hitting too hard. Their defense is what really makes up for it. I feel like when you're running this category team, especially if you have a rotation of, say, this LR with the LR Goku and Gohan, as well as these 2 as a rotation, you're gonna want a bit more like synergy with them in case you get really bad opening rotations. And I feel like that's where like a unit like this can really, really help you out in terms of just making sure everything is running smoothly, considering he does give all allies 3 key as well as the 58% defense. Again, this is a unit that will not be getting the 200% leader skill. However, I really do feel like he can be a really, really helpful unit in terms of just making sure your team is flowing a lot smoother. And then, of course, with Tech Ultimate Gohan, we all know how crazy he is. I just feel like if you wanted to go into any long event or against Red Zone Broly, for instance, he is just a unit that you could throw on there and have literally no problems with. And honestly, I don't see a day where this guy is bad. I feel like he will always have his uses, especially on a team like this. And considering he just constantly gets more and more teams where he is just able to function really well with a lot of the other units that are going to be popular to run. A couple other units of note would be this man, and then of course LRUI. So, oh, my accidentally deleted it. Well, let's just get that back real quick. So we got Evolution Blue Vegeta post EZA, as well as MUI Goku, who's not here. Okay, whatever. MUI. Both of these units are still very, very good. I really enjoy this guy's EZA. I feel like they did him really, really well, and I feel like if you wanted to throw this guy on your bond of parent and child team, he would fit just right on in and do anything and just basically carry a lot of the damage, because this guy can, once he transforms, absolutely spits out damage like it's not even funny. And then you have MUI Goku, who again still remains a champion. It's put on literally every single team in the game that keeps coming out. This guy, I think, does not age as long as the ability to dodge is available. So if you ever need just a random 6th unit, I would definitely recommend MUI Goku, as this is now his second, I believe, 200% leader skill that he has access to. One of which that I think may work a little bit better than the Realm of Gods Pure Sands team. While that team is very, very good, I feel like the ROF Blues as a leader do not really help this guy out whatsoever. And you might be thinking, well, neither does this unit. Well, I just feel like the fact that a lot of this team is going to be LRs with high HP pools and a very similar links like Fierce Battle, Legendary Power, stuff like that, is going to allow MUI Goku and a couple other of these units to perform really, really well. Overall, I feel like this team is probably one of the best in the entire game, and will be able to help all levels of play and just kind of just destroy anything and everything that they end up fighting against. Well, let me know how you guys, or what you guys think of this video and this team in the comments down below, and I will see you guys in the next video.